back. So today's Tuesday, and it's gonna be a while before I can get a second job because some of these places where you go get job interviews, they have a tendency to BS you into thinking you're gonna get something and you don't know. So we'll see what happens. Today's YouTube video is gonna be sex game. I like white women and black women that are tall. So we're probably going to rename the title to Sex Game. I like tall white women and black women. Now, the reason why I'm making this video is because I don't want nobody to feel like I'm being biased in any mere shape or form. I made a YouTube video like about 8 months ago called Sex Game, Short Women versus Tall Women, Who's the Freakiest in the Bed? And a lot of you saw that video, and the vast majority of you agree and love the video that I said I prefer short women. And I did have this one black girl who I'm not going to tell you her first or last name because she may be watching these videos, and she felt that I was being too biased when it had nothing to do with her. It was a subject that men talk about when they play basketball or football, or when they're at the park, or when they're at work or at the gym. The conversation comes up. Women like guys that are taller and don't really like too many short men, and guys like women that are shorter and not tall. Every now and then you have a guy that will make an exception for a girl being taller than he suspect. So she got in her feelings and did not use her brain logically. So in this video, I want you to use this and stop using your feelings and your emotions, because I say that's the final conclusion. There's a difference between what is my final conclusion and what is the interpretation of a final conclusion. They both sound the same, but they're both different. This is supposed to be one of these groundbreaking videos, so have a positive mind and just look at it from a positive perspective, not a negative perspective, and don't blow stuff out of proportion. We're all human. We all make mistakes. We have our good days. We have our bad days. Sometimes we say some stuff that we mean, and sometimes we say some stuff we don't mean. But by the end of the day, it's a YouTube video. Somebody might counter this argument 3 months from now or a year from now and do a far better version of the video. So it's just supposed to be one of those groundbreaking videos. If time allows, I'll make another one, which will be something that most men don't have an answer to and want someone to give them the answer to, and that'll be about what happens when a woman gets bullied too much. I'm going to bring back my bully series because it's such well-received series that people just love it so much. I did Gym Bully Part 1 and Part 2. They were very well received. It turns out men and women both understand where I'm coming from. Then I made a spinoff called Work Bully 1 and 2, and again, they were well-received videos. So I think if I make a series on what happens when a woman gets bullied, what happens when a man gets bullied, it probably might turn out like the last 4 videos. It might be very well-received, depending on how I explain it, the good and the bad. Now, before I start the video presentation, just understand that I am running out of space. It's not done on purpose. It's not being done intentionally on purpose. It's just one of those situations where I'm running out of space. And by the time I get from 191 to 198 to 200, there won't be no space available. That's why I made multiple YouTube channels. So if you ever come on here in October or November or December and you notice there's less and less uploads, it ain't that I forgot to make a video or I lost interest. It's I'm running out of space. Some of your biggest YouTubers have to have more than one channel. Sometimes they have to have 5 channels. Like Tommy Sotomayor, he's got like at least 8 or 9, maybe 10 YouTube channels because he uploads so much content onto his channel that it's impossible to fit all your content on one channel. It's impossible. So I have to have multiple channels in case this one fills up and you go, man, he ain't made a video in 2 months, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. What's going on? So if you see less videos, it's because I've ran out of space. I have to make the announcement because you may not hear me say it in the last video, which I did say in the last video, but I'm saying it again in this video, and every single video from this point on, I'm probably going to keep repeating it until it catches on that at some point, there won't be too many videos onto this channel. You'll have to go to the emergency reserve channel. And I'll put in the comment section in the near future how many YouTube channels I got. So if you get confused and you go to my old 3 YouTube channels, because they all have the same name, Alexander Odin, you might get confused and go, man, this channel's from 4 years ago. There's no new content. So I have to explain that each time you go to my channel, they have different colors. This one has a background of the color brown. My other channel has light blue. The other one has dark blue. I have one that has orange. So each time I make a new channel, they have different colors. So if you see different colors, they're still my channel. Chances are if you go to the one that's orange, you're going to find out that's my newest channel. You go to the one that's light blue, that's another one of my channels. So I'm just trying to explain. Now let's get on with the video presentation. Now, what I like about tall white women, I've noticed that when I'm in places like the Grove, Santa Monica, sometimes Westwood, I see a lot of tall white women from 5'10" to like 6'2". You know, they got them long legs, them killer curves. They got them nice firm breasts. And of course, they got that nice ass. Like Sunday, I was going to Planet Fitness in Inglewood. And I saw this tall white girl, 6 feet tall. And she looked like she had just came from the gym. I don't know if it was 24-hour fitness, but she looked like she had just got done doing intense training. And I looked at her and she looked at me, and she knew that I found her physically sexually attractive. Now this white girl probably could have been no more than 25, maybe 26, maybe 27. I might even far as to go, she might be around my age bracket, probably between the ages of 30 to 35. That's just one white girl. Then that same week when I was in Santa Monica on my lunch break, I saw another white girl, 6 feet tall, smiling at me. So I've noticed every once in a while, a white girl that's between 5'10" to 6'2" might give me some signs that they find me physically sexually attractive. And usually I'll either, you know, say yes to those flirts or no to those flirts. About 80% of the time I always say yes to those flirts, because I got them long legs, that tight body, six-pack abs. And I go back to the 1990s when I was a little kid and I used to read Marvel Comics. I used to always think of, what if they made She-Hulk and the Incredible Hulk movies? Which actresses that are 6 feet tall, that are physically sexually attractive, could play the She-Hulk? I always thought of supermodels like Cindy Crawford, because she was 6 feet tall. I had a big crush on Cindy Crawford in those 1990s. Tyra Banks is 6 feet tall. We all know Janice Dickinson. She's like 6'1", 6'2". Those were all supermodels, and just so happened to be those were all my crushes when I was a kid. My mom was a model. I never told you the story of it on my new channels, but on my old channels, my mom was like 5'10". So it's naturally that when people ask where I get my height from, you would think I get my height from my dad's side of the family, but on my mom's side of the family, naturally some of the women would be 5'8", 5'9". My mom managed to be 5'10", maybe 5'11", and that's where I get my height from. But don't tell it to my dad, because if he watched my videos, he'll probably be like, what? You don't get your height from your mom, you get your height from me. But the point is that naturally, I find white women that are like 5'10" to 6'2", I find them physically sexually attractive. I don't have no animosity towards them. I find them physically sexually attractive. They find me physically sexually attractive. They stay in better athletic shape than you might believe. They're like their own breed of woman. And every gym I've gone to, every now and then I might get hit on by a girl who happens to be the same height as me, or maybe 3 or 4 inches taller than me. 24-hour fitness is just one gym where, again, I'll go back to 4 months ago where I was on the Stairmaster, and this white girl was like a 10. From a scale from 1 to 10, she was a 10. 100% natural beauty, no makeup, no plastic surgery, just 100% natural. You know, big butt, nice round breasts, long legs, six-pack abs, blonde hair, blue eyes. And I thought either I dropped my cell phone or I dropped my towel because I'm trying to figure why she's looking at me. And come to find out, she didn't want to say it, but she indicated with a smile that she found me physically, sexually attractive. Of course, I was on testosterone replacement. Some of you might call that cheating, but the case was she found me physically, sexually attractive, and she had a boyfriend. And I remember the day all too well because there weren't that many Stairmasters occupied, meaning there were a lot of them that you could get on, and out of all the ones she could get on, she chose to get right next to me and was checking me out. And I kind of was like blown away by the fact she was checking me out. And this wasn't the first time she done this. I remember when I first went to 24-hour fitness, she had been checking me out, but I didn't, you try not to be a pervert. You try not to make it seem like, you're thirsty because, they'll call you a mangina or a simp, but I had no idea that she was checking me out. There was another girl that was 6 feet tall that had a tattoo that I kind of checked out, and she checked me right back out. So I noticed if these girls are tall, not that I'm saying they're easy for you to talk to and try to take an advantage of, because you will get rejected, which I am going to inject into this video before this video is over. So I don't want guys thinking that when they see the title of the video, they think, oh, I'm going to go to 24-hour fitness because Alexander said it. I'm just trying to explain what it is about white women that are from 5'10" to 6'2", maybe 6'3" that I like. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the black woman. So I don't want you to be thinking that because I said it in a video that somehow gives you the ability to do the same thing I do. Because I have good experiences, but I have some friends that have had some terrible negative experiences and they have never recovered from it. So that's why I'm saying, because you see the title of the video, it might be good advice for you, but it may not be good advice for your best friend at home or at work, and he may not like the advice that you get from this video. So it may help you, but just because it helps you, it doesn't mean it's going to help every guy who is upset here, okay? Same thing when I used to go to Gold's Gym. There was this one white, she weren't white, she was Mexican, and she was about 5'10", 5'11". Now, a lot of guys found her physically, sexually attractive in Venice Beach Gold's Gym. The problem was she kept doing too much plastic surgery because she was messing with, I guess there's a synthetic version of female testosterone because she wanted to get bigger and stronger, and she was a female bodybuilder. And a lot of the guys couldn't believe that she had a big butt, but she was buff. Like, a lot of the guys were comparing her to, who else? She-Hulk from the Marvel Comics. And every time she came in the gym, she thought people were making fun of her, but they were comparing her to She-Hulk. So one day, some guy that had a big crush on this female bodybuilder gave her a comic book of She-Hulk to explain to her, you look just like the female from the comic book. Because they were trying to identify how She-Hulk is like 6'1", 6'2", and they were comparing her to that. Then another guy who had a crush on her gave her a comic book of Wonder Woman. So she ended up with 2 comic books, She-Hulk and then Wonder Woman. And I even sometimes got caught looking at her working out, and she would turn around and was trying to figure out why was I looking at her working out. And I told her, you remind me of Wonder Woman and She-Hulk from the comic books. And she started laughing because she knew that a lot of guys were comparing her to the female characters in those comic books. They were talking about how athletic her body was. After a while, she didn't take it personal because she took it as we found her physically sexually attractive. Now women were not happy with it because they're like, you 5'10", 5'11" on steroids, you got a big butt, your butt is buff. That's not physically sexually attractive to women or men. So a lot of men kind of knew it was wrong for her to be on drugs, but they go, well, she got a big butt, I'm okay. Women were kind of like, that's cheating. And she was doing it for fitness competitions. Hold on. Sorry about that. It's Tuesday, and when it's Tuesday, we have what they call trash pickup. So sometimes you might hear some noise or some sounds in the background, and you might want to know why I stopped talking, because it's Tuesday, and every Tuesday is trash pickup day. So like I was saying, when I was going to Gold's Gym in the Venice Beach area, a lot of the guys liked her, but a lot of the women hated her. They couldn't stand her. She got the most respect, the most attention, and everywhere she went, guys would hit on her because she looked like Wonder Woman from the DC comic books, and they always said you should go get acting lessons to audition for the new Wonder Woman movie, which, by the way, she actually did audition for, but of course we all know Gal Gadot ended up becoming Wonder Woman. Her and 9 other female bodybuilders and actresses that were 6 feet tall, they all tried to audition for Wonder Woman. She was told that she could get the part, but she had to, get off the drugs and look naturally. And there were some conversations that she didn't want to go through all of that. Recently, I heard her name come up at my new job in Santa Monica, because I was washing dishes, and this one guy told me he went to a 24-hour fitness gym in his area and saw someone of the description that I was describing. And he said he didn't like the fact that she was on a lot of plastic surgery and a lot of drugs. And I said she does that for her fitness competitions. And this was a Mexican man that was angry and outraged that he found her physically sexually attractive. He just didn't like the fact that she had a buff butt, and that he kind of made this compliment like, I'm not going to go there because I don't want YouTube to take this video down, because it's kind of straddling, it's kind of getting borderline past PG, and I want to keep it clean because I don't want the channel to get demonetized and video taken down and blocked. But my point is, I'll leave that for your imagination, open interpretation. He was very disappointed by the fact that she looked beautiful, but he was disgusted by the fact she was on drugs and it wasn't 100% natural beauty. So that was the first time I saw a guy that was not happy. So yeah, every once in a while you might get you a Mexican woman that's tall. So people might say, shouldn't you rename the title to I like white women and black? I see more white women and more black women 6 feet tall than I see Mexican women. She's just one of many that I've seen that's tall. I'm just trying to clarify that. So I probably would put that in the title, but you should understand why I say it. So I explain in 18 minutes. Now let's get to the black woman. Now, have I had some good encounters with black women 6 feet tall? Yes, I have. Usually this comes in the form of playing basketball at the park. There was one black girl that was probably 6'2", possibly 6'3", and then if she wore some high heels or some boots, she was like 6'4", and she was a virgin, and that's all you need to know. And we were playing basketball, and I had to show her how to use her arms and how to play basketball. She was a little goofy, a little clumsy. Who wasn't at 21, 22? But I never saw her no more after that. I think some 4 years passed by, and I think Floyd Mayweather Jr. was getting ready to have one of his biggest fights. It wasn't Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao yet. It was like maybe 3 fights before that, and I had saw her at Damon Buster's at the Howard Hughes Center in Culver City, and she was in pretty much great athletic shape. I think she had a boyfriend at that point. I didn't ask, but she still found me physically, sexually attractive. And I asked her, "Would you here with someone?" She said, "My friends, family, and her boyfriend," because she had went to college out of state. So that's kind of why I said I didn't know what happened after those 4 years. But she had a crush on me, and I think sometime after that she ran into my other friend that plays basketball, and it was confirmed that she would cheat on her boyfriend like that just to get with me. So yeah, there's that. So that was one encounter. The second one was in Beverly Hills of 2016. I had went to Beverly Hills's LA Fitness Gym, and it was a black girl, 6 feet tall. She was probably between the ages of 30 to 35, nice curly hair, in great athletic shape, six-pack abs. So when people be thinking, oh, he don't like black women, there are different levels, different stages, different categories. She had a nice round ass and some nice firm breasts, and I was checking her out and she was checking me out. But I was already finished with my workout. I had just done almost 2 hours in the gym. Plus I had a job interview, so there was no reason for me to stick around and miss the job interview. So I had to go to work out, then go to the job interview, of course. Of course, I didn't get the job at that point in time, but she was on her way into the gym. I was on my, you know, that classic feel you get when you're on your way out, a girl's on her way in, she turns around, I turn around, and you both smile. Well, I have that. And that same day, there was a white girl, 6 foot tall, that I was checking out. And I think some guy that works for this big film company at the time was talking to her. And that's kind of when I turned and I was looking at her. And she was looking at me because she was like, "You ain't never seen no tall white girl with some ass, huh?" And I kind of got that look like, yeah. So again, that's two encounters of a black woman, tall. Same qualities. They're in far better athletic shape. And usually if I'm playing basketball, that's when I encounter it. Then we have another one. We have one where I was at work last year in the Grove area, and I would see at least 5 black women that were between 6 feet to 6'3". And again, they would check me out because, you know, they had never seen a, you know, loss prevention guy in the Grove area. And then of course, there was this one white girl that drove a motorcycle. This was last year, and she was 6 feet tall. And again, she drove a motorcycle and she was 6 feet tall. And she started hitting on me constantly, which got a lot of co-workers at my job at the time very angry and upset because it was a distraction. And then I had another white girl, 5'11", who didn't want to listen to my assistant manager. So yeah, I have a lot of encounters with white women that are like from 5'10" up to 6'2", maybe 6'3", and if it's a black woman, it's between 5'10" up to 6'4". You know, now have I ever seen a woman 6'5"? Yes, I have, but it was a Middle Eastern girl, and I had talked about that 8 months ago in the video called Sex Game, Short Women versus Tall Women, and then I talked about it, and then I talked about it in 2 videos. That was the only time I seen a woman 6'5" that looked at very physically, sexually attractive. So I'm basically trying to break it down to you the best way as I can in this video. So I hope you like this video. It's long overdue. It's like 23 minutes, and I'm trying to keep it to where it uploads simple. So yeah, you got my information on what happens if it's a white girl that's tall and what if it's a black girl that's tall, and I happen to throw in the Latina chick. So yes, I have seen all 3 races of those heights. And have I been hit on by women of those heights? Yes, I have. I haven't had too many negative responses. Maybe if we go back to high school, maybe early college, I've had some negative experiences because there's that she's, you know, Napoleon complex. The girl's taller than me, and, you know, you're a man and you're supposed to be the tall guy. Maybe back in high school, maybe early days of college. But as I got older, I grew out of that and started to go, well, a girl's a girl, whether she's tall or short. So Yeah, so can't no women, no tall white women or black women or tall Latino chicks go, oh, he don't like no tall women. Because I'm telling you right here in this video. Now, if you try to use the video from 8 months ago, why'd you make a video called Sex Game, Short Women versus Tall Women? It's because my number one preference is short women. But I said in this video, I have also made an exception. So I'm saying again, I've had some good experiences. Until then, peace.